All right, let's dive into Amsterdam. We've got a ton of info here, ready to go deep.
Deeper than the canals.
Huh? Well, we'll definitely cover those. But yeah, beyond the usual tourist stuff, Amsterdam's known for its canals and being pretty liberal, right?
That's the surface.
Exactly. Like, did you know they have more bikes than people?
It's true. Really makes you think about how the city
And
works.
so how does it work? Layout, lifestyle, all that.
Well, those canals aren't just pretty. The whole ring is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Whoa, seriously, what makes them so special?
It's 17th century engineering genius. They used the canals for water management, trade, helped make Amsterdam a global power back then.
So it's not just a Venice vibe, there's real function behind the beauty.
Absolutely. History you can see.
Now, Amsterdam also has that red light district reputation and the coffee shops.
Right. But this deep dive, we're going beyond that.
Exactly. Art, innovation, how it mixes old and new. In my research, I saw you're a big art history buff, so I think you'll appreciate this.
Oh, absolutely. Very excited to get into it.
But first, those bikes. Can't talk Amsterdam without them. What's it like experiencing the city that way?
Like a cyclist's dream come true.
Yeah.
Bike lanes everywhere, easy rentals, and you're right in the heart of it all, seeing those charming houses, the canals reflecting, efficient and scenic.
Sounds amazing. Okay, let's get to the museums. I'm a huge art person, and Amsterdam has some world-class ones, right?
Definitely. Rijksmuseum's a must. Home to Rembrandt's The Night Watch, plus they've got 800 years of Dutch art and history in there, especially if you're into the Dutch masters. Their Golden Age collection is phenomenal. It's like a window into that whole era.
The Night Watch in person, adding that to my list. And of course, gotta mention the Van Gogh Museum. I know you're into Impressionism, right?
Huge fan. And seeing Van Gogh's work up close, those brushstrokes, the colors, it's powerful. The museum also does a great job of telling his story, his struggles, his genius.
So it's more than just pretty pictures on a wall.
Way more. You get a sense of the man behind the art.
And speaking of powerful, I've heard the Anne Frank house is really moving.
It is. Visiting the actual place where they hid, it's sobering but important. Reminds you of the horrors of the Holocaust, but also the resilience of the human spirit.
Really makes you think, okay, after such heavy stuff, maybe we lighten up a bit. I read Amsterdam has some great green spaces.
Yeah, it's a city that loves its parks. Vondel Park's a perfect example. Huge, lots of green ponds, even open-air theaters. Locals go there to unwind, have picnics.
Sounds lovely. And what about that botanical garden, Hortus Botanicus, was it?
Another gem, one of the oldest in the world, exotic plants. They even have a butterfly greenhouse.
A peaceful escape right in the city. You know, it really is a city of contrasts, like you said.
Exactly. And that goes for the social scene, too, when we talk about the liberal side, but it's deeper than just the red light district. It's about inclusivity, welcoming everyone, a truly progressive place.
That's great to hear. Now, gotta talk food. What are some must-tries?
Stroopwafels are a classic. Thin waffles with caramel, you'll find them everywhere.
I do have a sweet tooth. What about for savory stuff?
Oh, definitely try rustafel.
Rijksmuseum.
Yeah, it's an Indonesian feast, tons of little dishes with rice. It's a legacy of their shared history, super flavorful. And of course, can't forget herring.
Herring, huh? I'll have to be brave for that one. What's the overall food scene like?
Super diverse, thanks to Amsterdam's multicultural population. Indonesian, Surinamese, Middle Eastern, Italian, you name it, it's there.
Sounds delicious. Okay, before we wrap up this part, tell me about those 9 streets I keep seeing mentioned.
Ah, De Negen Straatjes. They're tucked away in the Canal Ring, and they're full of independent shops, vintage finds, cute little cafes.
Sounds like my kind of shopping. And what about that huge street market?
Albert Cuyp Market, largest one in Europe, totally different vibe. Bustling, energetic, you can find anything there.
Gotta experience that energy. And then there's that floating flower market, the Bloemenmarkt. What's the deal with that?
It's the only one in the world. Shows how much the Dutch love flowers, especially tulips. You can find every variety imaginable there. The colors and smells are incredible.
Wait, why is it floating?
That's how the flower sellers used to bring stuff into the city, via the canals. And the tradition stuck.
So cool. In my research, I noticed something about the architecture. It's like a real mix, right?
Yeah, you've got the historic, right alongside modern stuff.
So I could be walking past a canal house from like the 1600s and then bam, some cutting-edge building.
Exactly. Amsterdam holds on to its past, but also looks to the future. You get those gorgeous canal houses, the gables, all that detail. But then there's the Eiffel Museum. Super modern.
That one looks like a spaceship landed by the water.
Definitely unique. And the Nemo Science Museum, you can walk on the roof, get amazing city views.
I love how they blend it all together. Respect for history, but also innovation.
It's a balance they strike well. Speaking of history, we talked about the Anne Frank house, but the whole Jordan neighborhood where it is, it's worth exploring. I know you're into those hidden gems.
Absolutely. What's special about the Jordan?
Used to be working class, now it's one of the most charming, trendy areas. Little streets, hidden courtyards, tons of art galleries, boutiques, cafes.
Cozy cafes, you had me at that.
You'd love it. It's got history, but also this vibrant energy, creative vibe. Perfect for wandering, discovering something unexpected.
Sounds like the real Amsterdam off the tourist track.
Exactly. Now, for a taste of that city energy, gotta mention Dam Square.
I've heard the name, but fill me in.
It's like the heart of the city. Big public square, historical buildings all around, the royal palace is there. Always something going on. Street performers, markets, sometimes protests, celebrations.
Sounds lively.
It is great for people watching. Okay, so history, art, culture. But Amsterdam's also pretty forward-thinking when it comes to, like, sustainability.
Yeah, they've got some ambitious goals to be greener.
Like culture is a big part, but also public transport, all the green spaces. They're doing cool stuff like floating gardens, solar-powered boats on the canals.
It's inspiring, a city taking that seriously.
Now, speaking of canals,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever done a canal cruise?
Not yet, but it's on my list. Seems like the Amsterdam thing to do.
You got to do it. Best way to see the city from a different angle.
What makes it so special?
Just imagine gliding along, seeing those beautiful houses, the bridges, all from the water, super relaxing, scenic.
I bet it's amazing at night, all the lights reflecting.
It is. And a lot of the cruises have, historical info, so you learn as you go.
You've sold me. Okay, so we've got the daytime stuff, but what about nightlife? Is there a scene?
Oh, Amsterdam comes alive at night.
Mm-hmm.
Something for everyone. Pubs, those brown cafes we talked about, clubs, live music.
What's unique about the brown cafes again?
Lots of history. Very cozy vibe, dark wood, candles. Great for just chilling, having a chat, trying local beers.
I like places with character.
You'd fit right in. Live music, too. Amsterdam's got a great scene. Jazz, blues, electronic, rock, whatever you're into. They've got Paradiso. It's in a former church. And smaller clubs, too.
A church-turned-music venue. That's wild. And what about King's Day? I keep hearing about that.
If you're there in late April, you can't miss it. The whole city goes orange. The royal family, House of Orange. It's officially the king's birthday, but it's really a giant street party. Everyone dresses up. There's music, markets, parades. Crazy fun.
Sounds like an experience. Okay, we've covered a ton, but it feels like we're just getting started.
There's always more to discover.
For sure. But we've hit some highlights, those hidden gems.
We've talked history, architecture, the vibe, sustainability.
And the food. Don't forget the food.
Absolutely. But there's one thing we haven't talked about much. The people.
Ah, yes. The heart of any city. What are they like?
They're fantastic, super friendly, open-minded, welcoming.
It does seem like a very tolerant place.
It is. Amsterdam has a long history of being open to people from everywhere, which is why it's so diverse and vibrant. And the people, they're warm, approachable, they love life, have a strong sense of community.
Love that. Sounds like a place you can connect with people easily, even as a visitor.
Absolutely. Amsterdam's more than just a place you go. It's an experience. It hits all your senses, makes you think, and you'll walk away with memories that stick with you.
So well said. I'm already feeling inspired to book that trip.
We've seen the highlights, the history, the neighborhoods.
Explored those canals, imagined ourselves biking around, sipping coffee in a brown cafe. But now we're getting into the truly unique stuff.
Off the beaten path, the hidden gems, the quirky side of Amsterdam.
First up, Electric Ladyland. It's billed as the world's only museum of fluorescent art. Gotta color me intrigued.
It's a whole different experience. Imagine a room where everything glows, the art, sculptures, everything. It's like stepping into a blacklight poster.
Okay, that sounds wild. Then there's this thing called the cat boat. Tell me that's what it sounds like.
It is. It's a cat sanctuary, but on a boat. You cruise the canals, cuddle with cats.
Okay, I'm sold. What else have we got?
Speaking of the canals, ever thought about living on a houseboat?
Actually, yeah, they look so cozy from the outside.
Well, there's the Houseboat Museum. It's an actual houseboat you can go inside. You see how people live on the water, learn about the history.
I love that kind of stuff, seeing how people live differently. Okay, we've had art, cats, houseboats. What's next?
They're into something a bit spooky. There's the Amsterdam Dungeon.
Oh, tell me more.
It takes you through some of the darker parts of Amsterdam's history. Actors, special effects, maybe a few jump scares.
Looks like a scary history lesson.
Yeah, but fun, too. Good for a thrill.
Okay, noted. Let's lighten up again. Besides all these attractions, what are some of the simple things a visitor shouldn't miss?
Just wandering around, having a picnic in one of the parks, getting lost in the Jordan. Those canals are beautiful just to stroll along.
You know, we talked about those brown cafes earlier. How do you really experience one like a local?
Find one that looks good to you, go in, find a comfy spot, get a local beer, maybe some bitterballen. They're like little Dutch meatballs. See if anyone's playing chess or checkers. Ask to join.
So it's about taking it slow, soaking up the atmosphere.
Exactly. And if you're a foodie, check out the Food Helen.
Oh, yeah, that indoor market, right?
Yep. It's a foodie heaven. Gourmet burgers, Vietnamese food, amazing cheeses. You can sample a little of everything.
I love that, like a world tour of food. Can't forget those stroopwafels either.
Absolutely not.
Well, this has been incredible. I feel like I've got a whole new understanding of Amsterdam beyond the surface stuff.
It's a city that surprises you.
Definitely. From those grand canals to the smallest details, the history, the art, the culture, and the people,
And
it's all so vibrant.
It's a special place.
It really is. To our listeners, if you're thinking of visiting Amsterdam, do it. Go with an open mind, be ready for anything, and you'll have an amazing time.